Welcome back. My name is Ginge. We're going to be going over one of my Fallen Saber runs. Did with a couple guys off LFG. This Nightfall is got to be one of the easiest to farm when executed properly. The hardest parts being managing the boss room and doing the war sat. For the war sat, we were running triple Storm Titan, but any composition will work here as long as you prioritize ad clear. I'd recommend at least one. It does make it a lot easier. For the start here, just kind of hang back. The war set can kill you even from quite a long range. Now there is a cheese for this. If your team is struggling, you could look up a video for that. I don't find it to be as necessary. It's just knowing when to get off the war sat. So the first ship comes down, we shoot the cannons off. I'm running blinding GL to deal with the cannons if they get out of hand. Throw your storm grenades down. You're going to be killing a bunch of waves of ads. And as soon as the overload captain spawns, that's your time check to get off the war sat. This is like just under 30% if I remember right. Yeah, here's 32. Okay, there's our champion. You want to get off the war sat as soon as possible. We didn't, we just burned them because Triple Storm Titan is OP, but for other teams and other compositions, get off the war sat so you don't spawn these two ships coming in now, so you can, properly focus them. I'm just sitting here blinding them so that way my team can easily shoot the things. Be careful of these snipers, they come up on this ridge. Definitely be careful of those. Alright, so we got a barrier champion. We're going to go ahead and push this guy because we want to get off the war sat and make sure this is dead. Because if you end up pushing it too far, you'll actually spawn ads behind you before you've cleaned up these ones. Once again, one of my teammates was still sitting on the war sat, so... But with the Titans, it's kind of easy. Now, last ship's going to be coming in. This one's going to spawn an overload champion. Just blinding that, getting rid of the turret so we can actually deal with a lot of the stuff here. Just keep chucking storm grenades, or you can use like the Shinobu's Vow skip grenades are also really strong. Yeah. So whatever works for you. Kill the champion. Okay, that's one of the harder parts, and as you can see, it did not take our team more than 3.5 minutes. Now, when we go in here, we're going to immediately go off to the left. It's the safest portion of this room. You're still going to have like melee stuff spawning on you, but in comparison to the snipers and whatnot. So wait for your team to all run through this door together, so that way one doesn't get stuck behind. The other thing about a blinding grenade launcher is that it's really good against the stuff that is shielded by the barrier servitor in the back of the room. So any of those snipers you can blind, even though they're technically immune, they still become blind, which is great. Here, the first priority is getting that barrier down because he shields the overload. And that is not good. You want to try to get him out of the equation as soon as possible. I'm just kind of chucking storm grenades there, seeing if I can tag it up enough. There's a lot of arc damage in this fight, so do be careful. but with proper resist mods and resilience, it's not too bad. Our teammate probably died to a sniper, most likely. As you can see, they're really annoying. So our other teammate's going to get the res while I try to pull aggro of some of the stuff here. And he ends up getting a stun on the berry, which is perfect. I go for a thunder crash and then try to get the finish here. As soon as one of these champions die, you're going to get these snipers, these sniper shanks to spawn up. Just be careful if you're out in the open. We'll also get 2 more overloads to spawn. After the overloads are dead, I usually dedicate at least 2 of my teammates to go back into that hallway where we started, while one person sits there and does the strike mechanic where it opens up the panel and they shoot the panel. This is so you can actually spawn kill the 2 overloads that come through here. Just waiting for them to spawn. And there they are. Teammate stuns them. He goes in with a thunder crash. I hit it with a G-horn. And the last one's pretty much finishable. Dies to a grenade. Now, getting out of here is all about getting rid of some of these ads. So, blinding GL blinds those guys for you so you can easily get out. And then you clean up, grab ammo and whatnot. The next part is the electricity portion, which is not as bad if you have someone who kind of knows what they're doing. The idea behind it is you want to get behind and grab the orb that allows you to dunk. And what you're going to do is you're going to slide down the way. You can still slide while holding it, which is really nice. You can also do like a melee trick. I find the slide to be more consistent. You're going to have 2 sniper shanks, and after you get rid of those, you can easily run it here. Now, the one thing I will say is be careful shooting exploders when your teammate is coming through. Once again, blinding GL, really good here. Just so good for just making sure that they don't actually explode. They won't aggro to you, so no deaths here. This next room can be a little chaotic if you don't clear it quickly. We're going to start off, we're going to have an overload champion right in the hallway. We're going to chuck a nade up in there to try to get an easy stun on it. There we go. Nice stun right there. Easy, just burn them real quick. Next, we're going to have a barrier champion, which you want to get done as soon as humanly possible. So if you got some heavy, use it here. We were just pretty much using our storm grenades like 90% of the time. Blinding GL also works really good on those 1 guys as well. Now, as soon as after a certain period of time, you're actually going to get overloads, and if you don't kill the barrier beforehand, you're going to end up with 2 overloads and a berry servitor protecting them. Not ideal. Occasionally, one of the berry or one of the overloads will actually get stuck in that door back there. We found it best to go backwards in the strike to kind of fix that. Now right here, you're going to have 1 berry right here, a bunch of snipers. I kind of push up so I can get a good nade in there. And I'm just kind of resetting my cooldowns. I'm going to go ahead and blind the snipers so I can actually work on the berry. It's always important to stay moving in this. You never want to be standing still. It's a good way to get sniped. A lot of the enemies there have tracking rounds, so they will just kill you around corners. So don't hide. Try to run back into the room if you get caught out in the open. So we killed the 3 overloads here. Pretty easy. we're all topped up on supers, and I have 7 G-horns still, so we're looking good for the boss fight. Now the boss fight, you can kind of take it as slow as needed. If you have to waste a super in the early round to get a res, you can actually farm the berry servitors for super energy, which is ideal. I recommend going into the final part of the fight, his last half of his health bar, with at least 3 damage-based supers. Things like Well of Radiance would be good if you're going to go for a rocket burn strat. We're just going to use our nades. These grenades are just so overpowered. It's just a matter of time before Bungie actually nerfs them, because they just do so much damage. Be careful of Shanks flanking and stuff like that. You'll have these periodically spawning up throughout the fight. You can take the right side for most of the fight. However, when the boss goes into his final phase, I would recommend the left. Mostly because Exploder Shanks are going to pop out. That's the servitor I was referring to. You can build super on if need be. Just use your primary to build super energy. But we're looking good, so we're just going to go ahead and kill it. And the boss is going to spawn up. I'm just going to pre-nade that guy right there. Now you're going to have Shank spawning up on the left-hand side. Just be careful of how many are there. Be careful your positioning in this room. A lot of the stuff changes where it is electrifying. So there are times where you were safe one run, but the next run, not so much. These sniper shanks that you just seen up there in the doorway, those are priorities. If they get too far in, the barrier servitor will actually protect them, and they are very deadly. They will two-shot you, or worse, or just one-shot you. So they are very deadly. You want to make sure that they're dealt with as they spawn up before they become immune. And then work Barry down. Now this part, I would typically try to hold supers outside of Well of Radiance. If you got a well, you can use it here with the rocket burn strat, just for a little bit of safety from the boss in the meantime. And then we're going to go ahead and just finish it off. We didn't even have to really use our supers, which was great. But in the event that you do, things like Chaos Reach or pretty much any super will do. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.